Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of the DSC-Cast podcast. My name is Callon, for the nice to see, otherwise known as Josh, otherwise known as Callon. I am joined today by my good friend, a very good friend, a amazing friend who's been my friend for about 3-4 years now. I don't even know how long anymore. That's just how good of a friend we are. Please welcome Tony back to the podcast. Tony? Good talk. Hello, my friend. Tell me if you're talking, you're muted, by the way. Okay, so it looks like Tony's having some technical difficulties, or he's a little bit busy. He's in the call. He's gonna be doing a podcast with me today. I have no idea if Dad's gonna be joining us today. So, he hasn't said anything. He hasn't talked to me. I haven't heard from him since earlier this week. I don't even know if he's gonna be performing tonight's game. But, while we wait for Tony and Dad to, respond, here we transition this so we have a cool looking screen. Let me, double check the podcast topic so I can give you guys a rundown of what all is going on today. First and foremost, as far as the Rainbow Six Siege news goes, this Tuesday, March 16th at around 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Operation Crimson Heist will be unveiled and unleashed upon the world. Year 6 Season 1 will be released about that time on Tuesday, so we have that to look forward to. A little bit extra information. So tonight's Minecraft, so we decided that we are working on a new schedule for the Minecraft streams on Sundays, as well as my streams in general. Oh yeah, before I get into all of this, I want to apologize for last week. Last week, not a lot of people were able to do the podcast. Tony, primarily, and Dad Dad was able to do a podcast, but just been him, and I can't exactly do the podcast I'm out cold. But anyway, we're sorry for skipping out on last week's podcast, but we're back. Until further notice, we're gonna be doing this weekly again. So yeah. Speaking of Sunday streams, so Sundays, every Sunday around 3:30 p.m., we're gonna be going live with the usual DSC-Cast podcast. Also, on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m., stream starting earlier at 7, but we will be performing at 7:30. The games will start, and we have a new schedule for our Minecraft stuff. So, each month, there's about 4 weeks in a month. So, week 1, we will be doing a chill build stream where we start building a whole bunch of cool new mini games for us to try out later on in the year, or hell, even on extra weeks and stuff like that. Second week of every month, which this is it, the Hunger Games. As you see on the screen below, the Hunger Games will begin at 7:30 Central Standard Time. Dad, Spooky, Tony, and Evan. No more Hayden, so we don't have to worry about my little brother coming in here and screwing us up, or cheating like he did last week. Last time, sorry. So we got that. So after that, on next week we will be doing the Battle Zone tournament, the Zenithal tournament, where PvP tournament. I will go into more details regarding that probably tonight. So yeah, on tonight's stream for the Minecraft stream, and the last weekend we are starting up a new monthly event called Colonica of Beauty. Basically, what we have is a 2v2 or 3v3 map style combat um, that we will be keeping track of on screen, trying to. But we will be doing a Minecraft recreation of the popular, infamous map, everyone's favorite map from 2019 Modern Warfare. Good old shipment, which we've teased before and after in multiple different capacities in the past. So we'll be getting that out eventually. So yeah, Tony, are you there? Tony, Tony. Well, Tony's unmuted, but he's not talking, or at least if he is, I can't hear him. So we can't exactly get this thing started until he shows up. Um, yeah. Hmm. Oh, my hype playlist stopped going, so I'm sorry. There he is. I think. Johnny? Yoo-hoo. Johnny. Oh, I heard him for a second there.
Hello?
There he is. There he is. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, I hear you perfectly fine. I have no idea why my app decided to say no to let me listen and speak.
Well, for the record, I'm letting you know this now. Does not look like Dad is going to be joining us, or at least if he does, he's going to be joining us a little bit later. He hasn't mentioned anything to me. More than likely, my little brother took a computer and you're being dicks, like always. But,
Mm-hmm.
oh well. Anyways, but since you're here, we can actually get the podcast for real started, and we got an hour and 15 minutes on. Oh, damn. On the clock, and let's get this thing going. Alright, timer's counting down. So, this week, because we didn't do it last week because we all had our own individual issues going on, so we couldn't do the least favorite science fiction films of all time. So, now we got the two most opinionated people in the entire podcast to talk to you about our opinions on the worst science fiction films of all time. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this again: no Star Wars, because we all know Attack of the Clones was the worst.
Okay, hold up.
Yes, personally, I think Attack of the Clones was the worst Star Wars movie. I actually liked Last Jedi, and I actually liked Rise of Skywalker, despite clearly knowing how bad they were.
Okay.
Attack of the Clones was just bad.
Again, that's your opinion. I liked it a lot. I mean, we got fucking young Boba Fett and, saw where he came from. I mean, yeah, the original extended universe was glorious on explaining where Boba Fett came from, but I did like the movie in canon version.
Mm.
However, fuck the Last Jedi. I will put Rise of Skywalker over the Last Jedi because of its convolutedness and the fucking bullshit that was put into it. Just
You all know my opinions on Star Wars. You all know all of our opinions on Star Wars at this point. So let's kind of leave the Star Wars talking to pass. What do you say, Tony?
oh yeah, that's I just wanted to get that out because you know you brought it up. But I don't know why.
All right, Tony, you want to go first? I
Mm,
what when thinking the worst science fiction films of all time, what is the first film that comes to your mind?
it's not just a film; it's a franchise.
Franchise.
Now, I like a majority of the franchise for this, but there was one movie that was a absolute failure, and I can't remember if it was the third or the second movie that was the failure. But out of all of it, liked that one the least. I liked the rest of them a lot more, and a lot of people really think it was a massive bomb, and that has to be the Starship Troopers franchise.
I thought you were gonna say Matrix, but yes, I completely,
Oh no
utterly
no
agree.
no!
the I will say,
Starship Troopers.
I will say the first film was amazing.
Mhm.
The animated films were actually kind of good, in my opinion. They were kind of good.
And the TV series that was animated as well was good.
I didn't know there was a TV series that was animated, but I will probably end up watching something about that later. Knowing Tony, but yeah,
Uh,
there's. I've never even seen a second or third Starship Troopers just because I've heard how terrible they were.
all I know is the animated series was it wasn't like necessarily animated. It was CG, like the actual movies and whatnot.
Mm,
Uh, and it was supposed to take place with the lead character Rico as the leader of his troop, and
mm,
one of my other friends had gone and told me all about it, and I personally can't seem to find those online.
mm.
Just the Starship Troopers movies, which perfectly fine, and
I can help you out with that. Don't worry.
but I did love the first movie. A lot of people didn't like it back in the past. Some people still don't, due to the fact that it strays completely far from.
The book, yeah. I remember reading the book
But
in high school.
the fact the fact of the matter is that movie was supposed to be a parody of the book and a parody of America during those times.
Right. I mean, the book itself was supposed to be a parody of America at that time.
Mhm. And the movie was a parody of a parody. So
So it was basically everything that SNL has always wanted to be.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. And then what about you?
I mean, the first movie that would come to mind would be Ghostbusters, the 2016 one, but I don't want to bring that up because, I mean, Lord knows the internet already hates that movie for everything it's worth. Because, I mean, if I remember correctly, it's still the most disliked movie trailer of all time on YouTube.
See, for me, and I've told you this personally,
Hmm.
I will never watch that movie. And I'm not being sexist or anything like that. In my opinion, I love those ladies. They're great comedians.
Oh yeah,
They're
amazing
fantastic
comedians. Just
comedians.
okay, I
But
will.
hold on, their roles, by what I've heard from other people doing reviews on the movie, their roles were completely incorrect. Some of them should have gone and switched roles with other people.
Hmm.
Others should have gone played up their role more. Others should have played down their role. But I will never see it due to the fact that there's three things to it. One, I didn't really want a Ghostbusters reboot. No one wanted a Ghostbusters reboot.
They wanted a Ghostbusters sequel. Thank you, Ivan Reitman.
They forced it onto us, basically.
Okay, well, to be fair, they had to do it, otherwise they'd lose the rights.
Yeah. And second, they were trying to say that, oh, just because we're making a female all cast of the male versions of the Ghostbusters, and saying that the male versions don't, quote unquote, exist as themselves. They're completely different people, and they're skeptical what they were. Albeit, there was one who was played his role perfectly in that, though, whatever. The fact that they were saying that the previous Ghostbusters movie, and I've learned this through different people, that some people were saying that the previous Ghostbusters movies were not for girls, is a complete and utter lie. Because I've seen many girls talk about how awesome the first two Ghostbusters movies were.
Well, the first one at least. The second one could have been much better, but I mean,
I still liked it though, because one, they were kids at the time, and that the second one was built more for kids, which is why it was kind of off compared to the first one.
Right.
And then thirdly, the fact that people thought that just an all-lead Ghostbusters movie, just because guys are saying no to it, doesn't mean we don't hate it. It doesn't mean we hate the people who are acting as the characters.
Right.
With the fact that you're going to try to basically stomp on the franchise as you're trying to bring it back into the next generation and say, fuck the past.
See,
what I learned
if
from
I'm
not watching.
If I'm being honest here, that movie wasn't. After watching it, I didn't hate it. Like, wanted to walk out of the theater, hate it. I honestly thought that it was a good movie with some tiny little, well, actually not so tiny, bits that could have been changed. But my personal belief is that that film came out at the wrong time. Because, if you remember, when it came out, we were in the midst of all this insanity regarding the feminist movement and all of that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I support the idea of the movie, and I support the idea of a female Ghostbusters. I actually think that, like I said, I thought it was a good movie. I just think it came out at the wrong time. But I can understand people's gripes with it. That's the thing. I mean, I can watch it and be like, okay, I'm glad it's getting a sequel, because, I mean, if it got a sequel, holy hell, that kind of shit would not fly today. I'm just...
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad for the people who worked on it, because, I mean... some of the people who worked on it actually had a love for the franchise and actually tried to make it good, which is something I love. Like, I mean, hell, even Chris Hemsworth's character in the movie was actually kind of funny at times. It was actually kind of cool to see Chris Hemsworth in a role that... it was the first taste we ever got of Chris Hemsworth being a comedic actor before we ever got Thor Ragnarok. Which is... I mean, I'm just... I mean, again, the people that they had in the movie were amazing. I mean, the actresses playing the characters in the film were amazing. It just came out at the wrong time. It really did. But the good news is we got Ivan Reitman doing the new Ghostbusters Afterlife film that's supposed to come out later on this year, barring any more delays.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, because I want to see Paul Rudd get his ass kicked by Slimer.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh, it'll be amazing.
But
You're up. What you
well,
got in mind?
one last thing though. In all honesty, if if all female cast of Ghostbusters had come out during this time, I would have perfectly been like, okay, cool, that's fine. I'll maybe give it a watch, you know. But at the time, it just felt off, and
Me, the biggest problem I had at the time with the movie was that Fallout Boy was the one doing the main theme.
mm,
Because and the Fallout Boy version of that song was so stupid. Like it was the it was the worst thing it was ear cancer. And don't get
mm,
I love Fall Out Boy for some of their songs are amazing. That song,
mm,
I want to burn it with fire. I I wouldn't be surprised if some people bought that album or bought that single, took it out into the middle of the desert, and blew it up with an RPG.
mm,
Because it was just that bad. Granted, I understand they have talent. It was just it just didn't go well. You can't you can't beat Ray Parker Jr.'s version.
mm.
Anyway, go on ahead. Anything else? Any other thoughts before?
Oh no. I finally got my thing taken care of
Okay.
with that.
So,
Uh,
what's next on your list?
Another one that most people would probably question why I think it's a bad film. Um, but kind of, if you really think about the timing of when it was made and everything, you probably understand. This movie came back out in like 2002, and I love this movie. But looking back on it, it kind of just it feels like it was a little bit of a flop to me.
Mm-hmm.
Only to me. It probably wasn't a flop if I remember correctly. If I remember correctly, people loved the movie. Everyone enjoyed it. But I think, in my opinion, it could probably be a little bit better. And that movie is The Time Machine, based off the novel by H.G. Wells.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
That's really old. It's, as I said, it came back out in 2002.
Really old. Came out in 2002. Jesus Christ, we are getting old. God, it's 2021. Holy shit.
Next year, I'm gonna be 30, and I
No,
wasn't
no,
expecting.
no, no, Tony, it'll be your first anniversary of turning 29.
No, I wish. Actually, screw all that. I'm 17 still. I'm still 17.
Yeah, don't.
Time has not moved forward at all. It's just been one constant state of time loop.
Strangely enough, this all pertains to the time machine.
Right. But yeah, basically, it's not extremely, but it is loosely adapted from the novel, and basically, it had my favorite actor in it, Jeremy Irons. Loved that man. Still do, even if if he passes away, I will still love him. He was like a great, great actor.
I'll admit, I've only seen him in a couple of things, but anything I've seen him in, I've appreciated what he's done. He's amazing.
I believe he was in a Dungeons and Dragons movie, if I remember correctly.
Huh.
That one. Yeah,
I know they're making a new one, but...
Oh, dude, they've had multiple Dungeons and Dragons movies. But if I remember correctly, he was in like either the first or the third one. I don't remember.
I can look it up right now.
Back to the Time Machine. Basically, what happens is there's this doctor who goes and invents a time machine, and he wants to go back in time to save his fiance, wife. I don't remember very much, because she gets killed.
Right.
So, time just goes on and on and on, and he finally finishes his time machine. I don't remember when.
Oh,
he goes
shit!
Back in time.
I didn't know he played Scar.
Yeah. I do not know.
I don't. He played the bad guy in Die Hard 3?
Yeah. Dude, Jeremy Irons is fantastic.
Okay, I see the time machine.
Yeah.
He was in Aragon? Okay.
Yep. I don't remember his name for that. Brahm, that's what it is. Never mind. So I remember Brahms, the wonderful ice cream and tattoo place, but completely differently named. But yeah, so the dude basically goes back to try to go and save his fiance, but every time he tries to do that, save her, it goes and kind of just fucks up everything. Every time he tries to go and save her,
Butterfly
something
effect?
different goes and kills her.
Let me,
And
let me guess. His
well,
wife's
kind
death is a
of,
fixed
and
point in
kind of
time.
Not. Possibly, I don't remember. It's been ages, but the fact that the time machine looks so wonky, in my opinion.
Probably
Like,
a reason why
I
I've never seen
understand
it.
that it's supposed to be kind of like a steampunk. It's kind of got like a steampunk look. If you go and Google the time machine from the time machine, hold on. Just make sure you look up the one from the 2002, not the old one.
Let me
the one
look.
from
Let me see
2002.
this. Hold on.
It's got all these different steampunk nozzles and dials and all this stuff, and you have this one chair just sitting in the middle. So Guy Pearce,
Guy Pearce was the main
played
guy.
the main character,
What the hell is that?
right? It's so weird. And yet, when you go and you look at the one from the original, it was very simple. You just had
I mean,
two
the original was
on the front,
iconic.
the light bulbs. You just had the disc, and the disc was supposed to go and just rotate over and over and over to go and signify the time travel. It goes and pulls the lever. But the one from the time machine for 2002, it looks overly complicated.
It
Which
looks
I
like they
understand.
tried to modernize a design that was, like, iconic
Simple.
already.
But some people love the movie. I know I liked it when it came out, but looking back on it, there could have been some easier ways to go and simplify certain things.
So
And,
one thing I hate about Hollywood
Ford
is that
came out.
they keep trying to modernize shit that shouldn't be modernized. Like, I mean, the reason
And
why this
do the-
film... Like, take Poltergeist, for example. I mean, Poltergeist was an amazing film in the 90s. Or whenever... 80s, whenever it came out. Right?
We should speed this up a little bit. We're already at 55,
I know.
almost 54 minutes.
You know,
But yeah, no. Looking at everything from the past and how great everything was, it was perfectly fine. You don't have to go and change things. They could have been like, hey, is the original still in like a museum? Can we borrow it for our movie? It would be perfectly fine just to have the original. But due to the fact that the art style of steampunk had just started becoming more of a thing back in like late 2001, early 2002, if I remember correctly, that's probably why time machine looks that way. It's because to invoke the art style of steampunk. But it should have been easier to have something very simple and understanding. If you remember correctly, I don't know if you watched it, but on The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon goes along with his other friends. They go and pitch in and buy themselves the original time machine from the original movie, where it's just a simple disc and a simple knob or lever that he just pulls, and boom, time travel. See, that was perfectly fine. They could have easily just gone and either bought that or recreated that, and
Right.
they could have used that for the movie. But in my opinion, they could have done a little bit better when it came to certain plot points and whatnot, and probably tried to adapt it a little bit more to the actual story.
Just seeing the poster, the original poster, and I'm like, no.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah. Two people standing there in front of the time machine, random glow in the background, just weird, menacing eyes that are horribly CGI'd.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Anyways, like you said, let's move this on a little bit, because I got a couple movies on my list now that you might.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So yours.
So, one, when I say this, people are probably gonna be upset with me. When I first saw this movie, I absolutely did not like it. Like, I'm sure there was a couple of cool parts in it, but it wasn't until I watched, like, the extended edition that I didn't fall in love with the movie as it was, or as it is in the extended version. And recently, this film made some headlines as the now, again, highest grossing film of all time, James Cameron's Avatar. I do not like the original version. Now, first of all, I understand the story, I understand the characters, and I love all the actors and actresses that were in the movie. For example, Sam Worthington, who unfortunately has not been in very many movies as of late, which is very sad, because he's an amazing actor who I would love to see take on all kinds of different roles like Marvel or whatever. But, excuse me, but, I mean, I love the actors, I love the story. The movie's just terrible, right? I mean, for one, it's long. For two, it's a weird love story thing that probably shouldn't make sense outside of maybe Ferngully when no, I mean it's
I was just about to say, let me throw something in too. What? My thing that I'm throwing in, Avatar is just a glorified version of Ferngully.
It really is.
That's all it is. Just
the only problem is instead of freaking Robin Williams doing a rap as a bat, we got Sigourney Weaver dying underneath a tree after a gunshot to her hip or her waist. That probably could have been easily preventable in future tech. Oh, I got an idea. Let's go take her to a tree and make her a Navi permanently. Okay, that's a great idea. Too bad it didn't work. Go ahead. Wait.
Go ahead and keep on talking.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait, what are you doing?
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm looking at because I was about to talk about the sequel to Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim Uprising. Yeah.
I have not given any
cares about that movie.
I'm going to be
The first
honest
one,
here. I'm going to be honest here regarding that film.
mm,
At my first opinions on it, which you can find online, I wrote a whole. It's one of the first film reviews I did on my website back in the day. It was not the. I couldn't get past how that movie was essentially a rehashing of the first one.
yep,
It,
that's all it was.
it's all it was in the first time. So that was the only thing I could get in my first watch through. The second watch through, however, I'm like, okay, I know what to expect here, so I'm gonna try to refocus my mind on the story of what they're trying to tell, without without the whole idea of them rehashing what came before. Because I mean, that was kind of the theme with sci-fi movies at the time. Because I mean, getting like The Force Awakens come out like a year earlier. But
Can I?
go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I
Since
just
we've
have
been
a lot
talking
of
about
opinions on it.
Pacific Rim. Oh no. Yeah. I was gonna go and say Pacific Rim's sequel. But apparently,
yeah, they did.
well, I was trying to.
Go ahead.
No. There's a movie that I just saw while I was looking at Pacific Rim called Atlantic Rim.
Oh yeah. It's one of those
Also known
Sci-Fi
as
Channel ripoffs.
Attack from Beneath. Also known as Attack from the Atlantic Rim.
It's one
As
of those,
well as
like,
From the Sea. It's from 2013.
it's like one of those Sci-Fi Channel Sci-Fi Channel parody shit that you're trying to. Look, I don't want to mention anything from the Sci-Fi Channel because Lord knows how terrible those movies are. No one wants to think about Sharknado. Thank God that's over. But Jesus, go ahead.
I'm just reading most of this, and it looks
Like, okay, so the other day I'm going through Amazon Prime because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna see if there's any cool anime movies out there. Of course, there's a handful. One of the movies I found on there wasn't anime. It was like one of those parody films. It's called The Velocipasser. I believe I've told you this. I don't know about.
I don't think you've told me about it, but it
Hold on.
sounds god awful.
Hold on, let me just read you. Let me just read you the description for this film. Just give me 1 sec to pull it up. Okay, here we go. After losing his parents, a priest travels to China, where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur. Although he is horrified by the new power, a hooker convinces him to fight crime and ninjas.
Oh.
That movie has way too much going on at once, and part of me actually wants to watch it because of how terrible that description was.
Okay. But there is one that truly that I really want to go and say was considered to be one of the worst sci-fi movies ever. And when I was younger, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It was fucking amazing. And looking back on it, I thought, what the fuck was I thinking about?
You were probably high at the time.
No, dude, I was a child. I could not get high.
You were high on Sugar Rush.
Anyways, the movie that I'm talking about is Titan AE.
What? You didn't like Titan AE?
I loved it. I loved how fantastic it was. But the fact of going back and rewatching it and learning about the history behind Titan AE and seeing why everything was made the way that it was throws me off big time. Because the fact that the studio at the time that was creating that movie, if I remember, was what, Warner or something like? No, not Warner. God, I don't remember who made the movie. It's been ages.
I can look it up
Um,
for you.
they themselves could had no idea what to do with the movie for the longest time. They had the idea, they had no idea how to go and shoot it. They tried doing it live action, and they couldn't get all the stuff live action because at the time we didn't have anything good. We still were working on CG, and CG was mediocre at best. And so they passed it on to different
That movie had,
directors and everything.
Jesus Christ, that movie had Matt Damon, Bill Pullman, Drew Barrymore, John Leguizamo, Ron Perlman.
Yep.
What? Who made it?
You know, Don Bluth,
Don Bluth,
the
director.
one and only Don Bluth directed that.
And it was partly rigged by Joss Whedon.
Yep.
It was produced by Fox Animation Studios, 20th Century Fox.
That's who it was.
That would make a lot of sense if that
Yeah.
movie's a lot more terrible than you think.
Yeah.
Because Fox has a reputation for screwing good movies.
The thing is, originally they're like, okay, we're gonna try to go and just make it animated, so they worked just on animation, and then they're like, no, fuck working on just animation. CG is the newest way to go. We need to throw CG into it. So they're like, okay, well, we'll go back and we'll redo everything real quick and do it in CG. So they did everything in CG, and then they're like, that's not good. Fuck it, just throw together the original
animation and CGI.
And that's how we got what we got. A mixture of CG and animation, which at the time, perfectly fine, because there are stuff where they have CG and animation that are absolutely god awful or absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like this new show by Crunchyroll. I don't remember the name of the show, but I know, like, people who know it know what I'm talking about. Who they know.
I don't mind like minimal use of CGI mixed with 2D animation because sometimes it'll work out in favor. Like in trash, you can look at like the Unicron trilogy from Transformers, or for good, you can look at say Hellsing Ultimate or Sinbad, that Sinbad movie that came out back then.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen
that, by the way.
I've never seen Titan AE, and I probably will give it a watch at some point, but who knows at this
Just
point.
to let you know, the story seems to be lost in the middle of all of that. The story itself could have been told a little bit better, showed a little bit more of the behind the scenes of what happens. I'm not going to spoil it because you haven't seen it, but the movie at the time was absolutely glorious. There are points where it still is absolutely glorious, but due to the fact of certain points that they were missing, that were obviously could have been there but were not, basically stops the story from happening at a more interesting rate, in my opinion. The colors all were just these weird oranges and dark browns and light brown, very mute because it's supposed to be kind of set in space, but people automatically assume that just because it's set in space doesn't mean that it's going to look good, which, or definitely means it doesn't look good. But if you realize, Treasure Planet had the exact same thing of mixing CG and cartoons, and that was like a massive hit for Disney when they came out with that. So
I was about to mention, for people who want to watch a good 3D plus CGI animated film, go for Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet deserves all the love. It really does.
It was a fantastic movie at the time, and it still is.
However,
best space sci-fi. They basically took the original story of Treasure Island and made it all about space, basically.
they made it space, but made it good.
Yeah. Alright, before I continue on with my rambling about Titan AE, let's go back to you and go with another movie of yours.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Man, H.G. Wells' adaptations didn't exactly have a...
It didn't have a very good reputation of translating properly into movie form.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it's H.G. Wells. I mean, there's only a handful of good H.G. Wells films. Like you said, The Original Time Machine, or my favorite adaptation, The Invisible Man, that came out last year. I mean, it was a very loose adaptation, but it was an example of Hollywood modernizing a tale, a story done right.
Exactly.
But going back to War of the Worlds. Growing up, I actually liked the movie. It was Steven Spielberg. I mean, sometimes you can't go wrong with Steven Spielberg. That time he went very wrong, and that started leading him down the path of terrible movies. Because, I mean, you got him doing War of the Worlds, and then you got him doing Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
So,
We don't talk about that one, right?
no, we don't
Is that
talk.
a thing?
Yeah, we don't talk about that one. In fact, I'm scared to even talk about Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to talk about Indiana Jones 5 in a popular light just yet. I mean, I loved Indiana Jones throughout the years growing up until the newer stuff.
Like 1, 2, and 3 was good. 1, 2, and 3 were
Fantastic.
good.
Absolutely golden. And then Crystal Skulls just happened to be a thing.
I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. Indiana Jones 1, 2, and 3. Each and every one of them had, like, some form of mystical element to it. And then, aliens.
Yep.
I mean, it was a combination of throwing the next generation of Indiana Jones, and it was that, while also bringing back the original actors like Marion, the original Marion actor, and then you throw in a whole wrench into what is normally understandable regarding Indiana Jones storyline. This is like you in the first 3 films. Okay, mystical elements. Like you got the Holy Grail. You got the Ark of the Covenant. Both were good movies. I don't really remember what what Temple of Doom really was, because I never really watched that movie more than like twice.
Well, I watched it like four. I watched that like 4 or 5 times because one, uh, my dad had the collection, and
Mm-hmm.
I loved the collection of Indiana Jones movies.
Right.
Loved them. Ones that I've mostly watched, of course, throughout the entire time that he had that was Raiders
Mm-hmm.
and The Last Crusade.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the ones that were the
Because
most
Raiders,
obvious ones that I liked.
Raiders is iconic.
But I did watch Temple of Doom quite a lot as well.
I mean,
Um,
Raiders is iconic. Last Crusade is a lot more fun than
mm,
before, when you get Indy backstory as well as you get his freaking father played. Wasn't wasn't it Sean Connery who played his dad? I can't remember.
yes, sir.
That's okay.
It was Sean Connery.
Got Sean Connery talking down to Harrison Ford, which in of itself is amazing.
Oh
So,
yeah,
uh,
and they had some fantastic chemistry with that,
mm-hmm.
as both James and Dad.
So,
All right,
I technically I did two movies. Anything else you got on your mind?
Ender's Game.
I have a
Now,
hard time with that
I've
one
seen
because
that movie
I
a
have a
little bit,
I have a very hard time with that because I
but
actually enjoyed the movie for what it was worth, but I also read the book and I was like, oh, that movie,
see, you're the exact same boat as I was.
that
I
movie
loved the book, but the movie
was.
felt like you were being thrown under the bus.
I mean, that
Like
was
they didn't
kind of
care
that
about
was.
what else going on.
I mean, that was kind of the point of the book because I mean, they essentially threw Edgar under the bus because it's like spoiler alert. Because I mean, it's not actually a game.
Oh yeah. If you haven't read any of the Ender's Game books or watched the okay, and by okay I mean very extremely mediocre, could have possibly been done as a B movie, uh, then all you're missing is it's not really a game. They're actually fighting actual aliens, even though it looks like it's supposed to be a game.
It's just another case of good actors being used poorly. Because I mean, you had Harrison Ford, Ben Kingsley, and
Mm-hmm.
the the kid who was actually an amazing actor.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what else he's been. I think he was in like Hugo. Pretty sure he was in a vampire movie with Chloe Grace Moretz. But
Uh, I also remember. I think he might have been. Wait, no, it's not the kid from Charlie and Chocolate Factory. It looks like him almost.
maybe. In any
Not really.
case, it was a movie with great actors using terrible settings. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it was like they cared about the story, but not enough to tell the story. If that
Yeah.
makes any sense whatsoever.
Oh no, I understand what you're getting at because that's how everyone and anyone felt when they saw that movie. They felt like, okay, well, they kind of have some of it right, but they also kind of don't. And fuck this movie. I don't give a fuck about these people producing it anymore. Because goddamn, they ruined my story. That's how it was with a lot of people. They kind of like, okay, well, that's okay. I'm just gonna go sit in my little hole and never talk about my favorite movies ever again. Thank you a lot, Hollywood. I don't care about my stories anymore because you basically ruined it for me. Thanks.
Well, I'm going to see. I'm gonna say this for my next film.
Mm,
People who know me know that I'm a big fan of like the Alien versus Predator films, the Alien films, the Predator films. I could
mm-hmm.
go on and on about the good parts about them. I mean, hell, James Cameron did the sequel to Alien, well, Aliens, which is considered one of the best sci-fi movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alien
Come on.
3.
There it is.
And Alien Resurrection. Basically, anything in the Alien franchise that has come out since Aliens, throw it in the garbage. Except for Prometheus and Covenant, I like those movies. I don't care what people say, those movies were good in my opinion. Just minor tweaks could have made them much better. Anyways, Alien 3. Actually, no, I don't even... What can be said about Alien 3 has already been said. Because Alien 3, I mean, interesting concepts. Very interesting concepts. I'll put that off in the back burner. Alien Resurrection can go suck my shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what can I say about Alien Resurrection that hasn't already been said? I mean, it was one of Joss Whedon's first films outside of Buffy and everything. And Sigourney Weaver, who was literally, well, not literally, who was phoning it in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
You got another case of good actors in terrible movies with Ron Perlman and Winona Ryder in the film.
Mm-hmm.
At this point,
Yeah.
you want to say anything?
No, I don't really care about keeping my 2 bits for that movie.
Okay, how about I bring in a film that maybe you will have another gripe with? Predator 4, The Predator. Again, like I said, I've always been a fan of the Alien vs. Predator franchise and everything therein, and everything within. Predator 4 was a downgrade from the last film in the franchise, Predators, which came out in 2010, which was an amazing film. Sequel. I don't care what anyone says about that. I just cannot. Okay, so, plot point about this movie.
Do you want to know?
You're cutting in and out. What are you saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to know how mad I got at that? I was beyond mad. I was
What?
beyond fear.
What?
I was so mad about the 4th Predator movie that I almost gave up on the entire franchise completely.
Honestly, same. Okay, so let me bring everyone up to speed for Predator 4. Predator 4, directed by Shane Black, was essentially a sequel to Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Which, no, you don't do.
Yeah, those were just supposed to be like little spin-offs, not really like an actual in-canon thing, really.
Right. Neither film actually acknowledged the future of. Like, I'm sure they had little teasers for like Wayland Utani and stuff like that. I mean, that's fine. It's a spin-off. It just was a different universe. They tried to link it to the two different universes, but without interfering with their canon. That's fine. That's amazing. Predator 4, directed by Shane Black, who does not understand how an action movie works, for anyone else who's seen Iron Man 3. Combine that with a predator that is like you retcon the entire idea of the predators hunting. They have the ultimate predator trying to steal the main character's kid because the kid is on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, and I mean I personally took offense with that because for those who don't know, I'm Asperger's. I'm on the spectrum myself. Um, ADHD and all that stuff. But you got Boyd Holbrook, who is, I'm assuming, an actually good actor. You got Olivia Munn, who's a great actress. And you got a, a Predator Iron Man suit at the very end.
Yep.
I bring back Nimrod and Tall. Bring back Roberto Rodriguez. Bring back Adrian Brody. Give me a sequel to Predators, at least, please. Because, I mean, you can't explain why they're hunting humans. It makes no sense. They're hunting humans because they're... I mean, why not? Predator was the most dangerous game, but science fictionized. It was Treasure... what Treasure Planet was to Treasure Island, where Predator was to the most dangerous game. It was a good movie, and you had Arnold Schwarzenegger giving at least 50 of his amazing one-liners. In 30 minutes at least. And yet you have Shane Black who comes in here and ruins everything with an hour-and-a-half long movie about...
Sounds like he crashed. Then again, so am I, basically. I think we need to move on from that. That way we can just... we just need to move on so we don't have to feel so pissed off at certain movies. Wouldn't you agree?
Hold on. I think I've crashed. Did I crash? I think I crashed. Oh no. Don't tell me I crashed. Did I crash?
I can still hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't tell that I crashed or not.
No, you didn't crash.
We agreed to finally move on from that. That way we're not
yeah. Give me 2 more movies. We got 20 minutes left. Give me 2 more movies.
Okay.
Now, I personally don't think that these are underrated as well. I think that some people, because I know quite a lot of people who thought these were underrated, but among the people who actually watched them and actually enjoyed the movies for what they were, especially one that was originally just a book, if I remember correctly, I'm going to go with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, it was based off a book. Oh my god, you can't do Alan Rickman like that.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the other people who are saying that was absolutely bad. But also, I have to kind of get it for certain things for the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. They left out some key importance of certain things. Then again, it's been a while since I've seen it. I believe they also forgot about the Babblefish. I could be wrong.
I've never seen the movie, so trying not to spoil.
Basically, what the Babblefish was, and a lot of people don't want to say it's Babblefish, but it is Babel. It basically is this tiny alien fish that you stick inside your ear, and you're able to understand every other alien language.
Mm-hmm.
Translates it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the entire story is this one guy trying to go and stop his home from being absolutely and totally destroyed.
But it gets
And it turns
destroyed
out,
anyway, so.
yeah, no, it gets destroyed anyways. But also due to the fact that the Earth is being destroyed because
Mm-hmm.
they're throwing like some kind of highway through that area. So instead, he somehow convinces them to give him a second chance, and so they give him a different Earth. But I don't remember if it was specifically in a different position. But I remember he was supposed to have like a second Earth, which was supposed to be his home and whatnot. Um, I loved the cast, uh, especially Alan Rickman as a freaking depressed robot.
I mean,
Like,
Alan Rickman, what'd you expect?
just oh my god, the super depressed. But oh my god, so much funny shit came out of his character's mouth because of it. And then another movie that a lot of people were saying is absolutely bad, and I kind of agree here and there too. And it's another movie that Alan Rickman is in, and that is Galaxy Quest. A
Alan Rickman
parody.
was in Galaxy Quest?
Yes, it was a parody of the Star Trek series. It was supposed to be a parody of the Star Trek original franchise back when William Shatner played Captain Kirk and oh geez, oh fuck, I don't remember his name. Leonard
Leonard Nimoy?
Nimoy was
I
Spock.
forgot the name of Leonard Nimoy. What kind of sci-fi fan are you?
The only reason I forgot is because Alan Rickman's character is basically Leonard Nimoy's character of Spock. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, Leonard Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy, Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman was playing on William Shatner. Wait, what? No, no.
No, Alan Rickman did not play Spock.
No. But Alan Rickman's character was a parody of Spock in Galaxy Quest. Tim Allen was a parody of William Shatner's Captain James Tiberius Kirk. And if I remember correctly, it was either Sigourney Weaver was the interest, kind of. Oh god, she wasn't really Uhura, but she was basically Uhura.
She wasn't really, but she was basically a horror. I mean, I've never seen either of the films. I know I need to, but I mean,
Sam Rockwell was basically like the guy who always gets killed in every movie or every episode.
So Sam Rockwell played the black guy.
No, Sam Rockwell played every red shirt ever.
No. What would have been funny would have been if Sam Rockwell kept dying in the film, but kept coming back to life. Like, he was eternally cursed to be a red shirt for the rest of the time.
That would have been hilarious, but he was basically considered. His character was basically considered to be like the red shirts from Star Trek. And I'm talking about like OG Star Trek, where they were kind of like the infantrymen, but they weren't like crazy first ones to die.
Tony, I live with two grandparents who watch Buck Rogers at least 5 times a week. Yeah, I've watched the original trilogy. I've watched the original series. I've watched all of the Next Generation too. So.
But funny thing though, Sam Rockwell's character was called Guy Fleegman.
What?
Guy, flea, add a G, and then man. Drop the G, and it's basically guy, flea, man. You just gotta get the fuck. Um, it was considered by some people to be overly cheesy
Mm-hmm.
because one, it was basically a parody of Star Trek films and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
but also the fact that what happens is this alien race who have like these weird the way that they speak was hilarious because the alien race that picked up these actors who actually were actual actors from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
They always look like this, and whenever they clap, they have their hands top to bottom, clapping sideways for some weird reason. And they're like, oh, very funny, oh. And I was like, oh my god.
Apparently, these
It
guys
was
don't
over
know what the prime directive is.
Oh no, it was over to the top. It was absolutely hilarious. It came out in 1999, so before early 2000s. There was still minor additions of CGI, of course, because you can't have uh, full-on CGI. But CGI was at its early stages before it even hit
Mm-hmm.
the early thousands, and
Right.
so there was cool things that they had, and it was absolutely wonderful. The movie I loved; it was fantastic. But a lot of people were just like, "Oh, it's just, Star Trek, basically," and they're making fun of my favorite franchise. Fuck you.
Mm.
I've met a couple people who were kind of upset that they're basically poking fun at Star Trek, but it wasn't really a poke fun at Star Trek. It was more of an homage, and
A love letter to Star Trek,
that,
but made by SNL.
basically, but it wasn't. It wasn't an SNL thing. It wasn't SNL, which was huge and out of its way for itself at the time. Um, Tim Allen as Jason Nesmith as the quote unquote leader of the I don't even remember the name of the ship. Was It was absolutely fantastic. Sigourney Weaver did a fantastic job as basically going from her normal actress self from that show to having to get into character from the show just to go and help these aliens after some weird bullshit. Oh, by the way, another thing. These aliens recreated their spaceship, which was only a set design, and all the long shots were like those little models and everything, like how
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek originally was done.
Right.
They basically recreated their entire ship, one to one, in actual space scale, with all the appropriate things in the appropriate places. And they're just like, holy shit, blown these actors out of their minds. And it was a fantastic comedy, and it was a fantastic sci-fi adventure.
Mm.
And for some reason, I've met a couple people who absolutely disliked the movie.
I mean,
It kind of makes,
to each their own.
yeah. But there are parts in the movie that kind of do make me feel like they could have selected different routes to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in my opinion, now that I've seen it again years later, what would have been absolutely hilarious is if they had, they're like, oh, we're gonna help save these aliens, and it turns out these aliens that we're protecting are actually gonna go and try to take over our world. I thought that would have been fucking hilarious, and then have them go and fight them instead, because the people that were fighting these quote unquote aliens that we were trying to protect were
Right.
technically the people trying to stop them. That's a funny twist that I would like to see more. Not that I'm older, but back then, I
Right.
absolutely loved it.
Anyhow, we have about 9 minutes left in the podcast. I got one more movie on my mental list I want to get out here. Um,
Mm,
Oblivion, starring um, Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman.
mm,
A very forgettable movie. I did not like it the first time I saw it. I will, granted, it gave me a couple of chances to give it a better watch, but
Mm,
have you seen it?
I have not.
Okay, so let me go down the basic storyline of this. So, uh, like a century or so, in the future, Tom
Mm,
Cruise and I think it's not Emily Blunt. It is. Let me double check that. But anyway, it's Tom Cruise and this chick who are on this like station, uh, orbiting Earth and everything, like up in the sky.
mm,
Tom Cruise has to go down with a couple of robots and stuff to basically get some food, make sure the Earth is starting to rehabilitate itself and everything. Comes
mm,
across this, uh, uh, but he's only supposed to be in this specific sector of Earth. Like
mm,
he's not allowed to go anywhere else. So he goes. In order to save one of his comrades, one of his fellow survivors trying to save the Earth, uh, after they crash, he goes into their little area, finds out that, well, he's not the only Tom Cruise on Earth.
mm,
And so Morgan Freeman knocks them both out, erases one memory, sends it back, and Morgan Freeman tells Tom Cruise, "Okay, so here's the sitch. That space station up in space that is been giving you orders for all these years are actually aliens trying to take over the Earth. We're going to go up there and blow the shit out of it." And like the like it was a attempt at Christopher Nolan in a sci-fi film. Because it's
mm,
like, it was a good film. It was a good story. It was a good idea. But did Christopher Nolan get?
mm,
He made it kinda depressing. Kinda
mm,
bland. It was. I, I implore you to give it a watch, only just to see where I'm coming from. Because the movie itself, I mean, the story, for me, a good movie is a good story, but sometimes the story takes a backseat to the movie, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
mm,
Um, in order to understand the story, you have to watch the movie. In order to watch the movie, you have to understand the story. It's two sides to a coin. You can't do two sides to the coin and not play the movie the way you need to. I'm rambling here. I don't know how else to say. This movie sucks. This movie really.
mm.
I mean, again,
I can
good
actually one
actor.
up.
Okay. And I swear to God, if it's Planet of the Apes 2000, I will kick you out of the party myself.
No.
Okay.
And you probably haven't. I don't know if you would have given it a chance to see it because I don't. Hold on. What year were you born again?
97.
Okay, so you probably wouldn't have. You still probably wouldn't have gone and seen it. The movie Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within,
Nope. I
a
don't.
2001 film, all CGI. Now you see, Final Fantasy had been a wonderfully beautiful franchise
Mm-hmm.
since its inception,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe by 2001 we were already on Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2, I believe. I could be wrong, but Final Fantasy was an absolute fantastic film, or not film. The game was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Spirits Within movie was absolute hot garbage. Had nothing to do with actual Final Fantasy. Had nothing to do with anything Final Fantasy. This movie should have just been called The Spirits Within. It would have been perfectly fine. Has nothing to do with magic, monsters, and
Final
fucking
Fantasy.
end of the world type shit. Well, it had kind of end of the world type shit. Basically, premise is it's a space crew going around to these different planets trying to find some kind of whatever. I don't remember. I don't give a fuck about this movie anymore. This movie had just absolutely pissed me off. When I was a kid, thought it was fantastic. You know, because one, it was all CGI and it was kind of cartoony. Basically, I'm gonna tell you this, and for people who want to go and actually understand it, you need to go and check out what was his name? You need to go and check out the Nostalgia Critic at Channel Awesome. Watch his review on Final Fantasy Spirits Within. He explains how bad it was. He explains how god awful it was. The main actress, all of the actors and actresses were absolute units at pretending to be actors and actresses, but the main actress of that was supposed to be the very first CGI actual actress. They tried going and making her into an actual kind of quote unquote person. So they blended different looks and designs to come up with her character. And so what had happened was here, I'm just gonna pull up the IMDb because fuck that shit.
Well,
Okay,
we only
so-
have like a minute and a half left, so.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to read this real quick because it is a short little thing here. Basically, it says, a scientist makes a last stand on Earth with the help of a ragtag team of soldiers against invasion of alien phantoms. Alien phantoms. It's basically just, quote-unquote, specters that can somehow kill people and somehow not kill people. And it was...
So basically, it was just it was a sci-fi film with the Final Fantasy tag on, essentially.
It was just Final Fantasy's name being thrown onto an absolute shit garbage movie.
Oh,
Like, it made a lot of people sad, especially the fans of Final Fantasy, who actually love the games and love the franchise.
right.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and just end it here, because we have very little bit of time here. So.
Yeah, we have like 30 seconds before the timer goes off. So I'm going to take this time to, again, thank Tony for joining us today on the podcast. Again, he takes some time out of his day off and come talk bullshit movies with us. Bullshit and great movies depending on our opinions.
Oh yeah.
I want to thank everyone who tuned in today. Of course, the VOD will be up on YouTube. If the VOD gets taken down, I've been recording this entire podcast, so I can try to see about getting it back up after editing. Excuse me. Editing some of the content in it, so maybe we can take care of that. Again, tonight we are doing the next edition of the DSC Hunger Games. Live tonight at 7:30. I will probably be going live around 7:15. Tony's gonna be there. Dad's gonna be there. Evan's gonna be there. Daniel's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there, obviously, because I'm the freaking host. You can't do a Hunger Games without me. I think, maybe. You know, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's a realm. Who knows? But yeah. So I want.
Start it now.
Shut up. In any case, thank you all for watching today's episode of the DSC-Cast podcast. We will be back next week. I don't know what the topics are going to be for next week, because we didn't really have any time to discuss it this week. Again, we'll bring Tony back, hopefully. We'll probably get Daniel or Spooky in here too. We'll have to discuss it. But yeah, so I'm gonna take this time to explain my stream schedule for the rest of the week. Tonight, 7:30 p.m. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I hear you now.
I accidentally unplugged my mic. I am my mic. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at, tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Hunger Games. Tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Jackbox Party Pack with Tony, Spooky, the Dag, myself, and Daniel. Later on this week, I might be doing a Tuesday stream for Crimson Heist release. I'm definitely gonna be streaming Ranked on Thursday with Spooky and Daniel, as well as Friday night. Reminder to everyone who's watching movies, the Justice League Zack Snyder Cut will be releasing at noon on Thursday, March 18th at 12, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll be 11 p.m., 11 a.m. for us, Tony. So, yeah. I don't know how much or what else to say. Thank you all for watching today's podcast. Tony, you want to say anything to our millions and upon millions of fans watching around the globe?
Two things. I'm still working on trying to get myself set up for streaming and whatnot. But as of late, I've been mostly playing, as I said, on my Oculus Quest 2. I've been playing a lot of VR chat and Population 1. If you guys happen to see lan626 in either VR chat or Population 1, don't be afraid to go and say hello. I'm always going to be welcoming there. And then number 2, stay frosty out there, guys.
Stay frosty, he says after we just got out of a blizzard like 2 weeks ago. Anyways, thank you all for watching. See you all tonight for the Hunger Games. I got a very special overlay built specifically for Hunger Games tonight. I cannot wait to show you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and, well, see you again later. Thank you all for an amazing, amazing podcast.